Visit with our friends from Saylorville Marina about this time of year, reminding you, Jackie, about some things that really need to be done for your vessel before the winter months.
Absolutely, and with some gorgeous temperatures still. It's also a great time to talk about jumping on Saylorville and the marina there, or Red Rock. Mike Slattery joining us this morning, and you were saying we still have a couple good weekends we can look forward to.
It looks like there's still going to be some good weekends, but you know, eventually this weather is going to change.
Yeah, you're going to be busy for the next couple of days without question, because we're going to be in the 80s and upper 80s. So again, people get out in the water. When does it usually slow down a little bit? Because that might be a great time for people to come on out.
Yeah, I mean, really any time right now at this point it's slowed down. Anytime after, or really when those after college football starts. Okay. You know, it really slows down on Saturdays and stuff during the Iowa and Iowa State games. Just everybody, especially with home games, they're all at the games instead of being out at the lake. So if you want to come out and enjoy pretty peaceful lake, just you come out on those days if you're not watching the games.
Almost like having the lake to yourself, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the last few weekends, even this last week, it was a steady crowd, but once kids go back to school, Labor Day hits, and football starts, it really slows down.
Yeah, you can still stay up with the football games as well when you're on the boat, right?
Yep, you can still listen to them on the radio.
There you go. Exactly. There's technology that can help you out there, but you still want to enjoy the beautiful waterways we have while you can, because as you said, things will change. Unfortunately, we have to think about winter coming around the corner, and there's things we need to start thinking about right now if you own a boat, correct?
Yep. Yeah, you definitely want to start thinking about, you know, what you need to do for it for the winter. I mean, going down to how you're going to store it. If you're going to store it inside, outside, in your driveway, somewhere else, to getting it winterized, to any cleaning, any service work that you need done over the winter to make sure it's ready to go next spring. One of the most important things that a lot of people overlook is with the storage, especially if you're leaving it outside, is getting it properly covered for the winter. And that's the best way to cover your boat to protect your investment in is shrink wrapping, which is, if you're not familiar with it, if you see, it's a really heavy plastic. It's the covers are custom made to each boat. We make frames, and then you lay the plastic over and actually heat it, and it shrinks it right to the boat, and that's why it's called shrink wrap.
Right.
It keeps all the moisture out. Keeps, you know, the big thing that people forget about is the UV damage to boats that sit outside all winter long. You know, they sit outside, that sun hits it real hard, and people don't think about it, but it does hit it very hard over the winter. Plus the moisture, freeze thawing in the boat, creating bigger issues.
Now, when you shrink wrap the boat, is it just the top part of it, or is it the whole thing? How much of it is covered?
It's pretty much it's the whole top, and it goes halfway down the sides. So it keeps any sun hitting the sides of the boats is covered up. Any sun hitting the top, any moisture, you know, you get snow, rain, it's peaked enough that all the moisture, you know, any precip just rolls off the sides and goes to the ground, doesn't get in the boat. It helps reduce the chance of getting rodents and other stuff.
That was my next question. Is what about animals?
It's not. I mean, I'm not going to say it guarantees that they won't get in there
because
but
they can chew and things like that. To be honest,
yeah. I mean, it'll help reduce any of that. And like I said, the biggest thing, like in a traditional cover, like the snap-on mooring covers that you see on a lot of boats, water, wind, you know, wind will come in, knock those down, water, snow will pile up in it, and you can tear them. They're not waterproof to the point that if you have water sitting on them long enough, that water is going to soak through those covers
a lot of them are canvas,
and fill the boat up with water and cause mold and mildew issue that way.
Absolutely, and when we're talking shrink wrap, Red Rock and Saylorville both offer that service, correct?
Yes, both properties do it. It starts at, it is a little bit on the pricey side, but it's really well worth it. It's about $15.50 a foot for the length of the boat, starting off on anything that's up to about 30 feet in length. That's what it's going to be. We do larger boats. The other stuff that we do offer it for campers and RVs too.
Oh, really?
That we do a few of those. That's another thing that people forget about. Not only on the boats, but on the campers and stuff. They're sitting out there having all that snow and ice sitting on those roofs.
True.
Is real rough.
So think of that.
The same process.
Same process. Yep.
Where you build a frame and then actually cover the whole.
Yeah. With RVs, it's a little bit different. We don't really build a frame for it because it's a large square object that we lay it. You know, tape off all the sharp edges, put the plastic over the top of it, and heat it up and melt it to the side. And not melt it, but shrink it in, and give it a waterproof.
Now these shrink wraps, are these a one-use product?
It is a one-use product. In the spring, it's basically cut it up, cut it off. We'll shrink it up. We bring it to we take them off the boats. We shrink it up some more to get it small, condensed down, and then either it goes in the trash or it goes to recycling.
Okay, so you can discard that for them then. All right.
Because the whole idea is to be key ready when spring does come back around.
Yeah, especially putting that style cover on. If you have the boat clean going in the winter, it's going to be pretty well clean when you pull it off.
Now let's talk about that too. Talking about getting your boat cleaned and prepped prior to getting it shrink wrapped. Do you guys offer those services to go in and make sure everything is what it needs to be?
Yep. So we do complete boat detailing, cleaning inside, interiors and exteriors. Especially if you got a lot of boats that have been sitting in the water all summer long, get a lot of algae growth on the bottom. We do clean those. We do have a system.
So this is inside and outside detailing.
Yep. Okay. We'll do both of them. Get the boats looking good before you put them away for the winter. We do also engine and service systems winterization on anywhere from a pontoon boat to runabout up to cruisers. And once again, we do RVs too. If somebody wants to bring one in, it's not our main business, but we do those because it's a lot of the same systems in boats and campers.
Now the shrink wrapping that we just got done talking about, that's mainly if you want to keep your boat outside, correct?
Yeah. If you're storing it inside, you don't necessarily need to do the shrink wrap method. But if you're going to leave it outside, Saylorville and Red Rock this year, if there's any new customers, one of the things to help with it is any new storage customers that have us store the boat outside and do service work, do the winterization and everything for them. We're doing free shrink wrap for those boats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That works.
So a great deal still going on, but you're saying you need to start thinking about this now.
You need to start getting it scheduled now. Especially if you are done with the boats on the engine winterizations right now, through the end of September, as long as the work's completed in September, both properties are doing 20% off the winterizations right now.
Oh, nice.
So for anybody that's already done.
It would only make sense. It would only make sense to have the experts make sure everything is where it needs to be.
Yeah, we go through it all. We make sure we see a lot of people that attempt to do this by themselves on their own, and they usually end up coming in the spring needing either new motors, a
lot of times either you're taking shortcuts or you thought this was going to work. Yeah.
And insurance companies don't pay for that.
I was going to say, that sounds even more expensive.
Yeah, so it gets a lot more expensive. But our techs will go through, not only are we servicing, we're changing the oil, checking for any, for any water leaks, oil seals bad, anything like that, gear lube changes. We can pull drives, make sure everything's, essentially it's going to give a full inspection of the boat, so then either we know something needs to be fixed over the winter, or that it's going to be ready to go for you in the spring.
Yeah, and maybe get it repaired before you get it all buttoned up for the winter.
Exactly.
And I think, like you mentioned earlier, Jackie, what better thing to do is have everything ready to go, so when spring pops, it's like, let's go.
Yeah, that's the word. Exactly. I watch so many people. The season's short enough as it is. Get the work done over the winter, because every shop in town will, get 2 to 3 weeks out, and that takes a big chunk of the season real quick in the spring. So if we know there's something that needs to be done, that something needs to be done, the winter's the perfect time to have it done.
Now's the time. All right, so how can we get in touch with you to make sure we get this all situated?
Yeah, you can call either property. Saylorville's 515-984-6541. It goes in the extension number 1, or go to our websites, and there's an email address through there too.
Perfect. Saylorville, LakeMarina.com. Of course, if you still want to get in the water these last few days or more with some warmer temperatures, I imagine they can head over there and rent some equipment as well.
Yeah, we still got the boats going out. We are through the rest of this season. We are doing 50% off all boat rentals. So if you call in and get that scheduled,
great deals going on.
Yep,
might be way busy after all.
Yes,
well, we hope so. A couple more weekends out of it.
Finish off the season strong. Thank you, Mike, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll be right